Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I really want to speak so honestly with you today because I've just been on holiday and I feel like this is really something that comes up for a lot of women. So I really want to deep dive into it today with you. So I am going to ask for your permission to be brutally honest with you today. And as soon as I say what I'm about to say, if it makes sense to you, you're ready to hear it. Okay, so let's dive in. I want you to realize that at some point in your personal growth, you're going to stop trying to understand yourself better and you're going to need to start choosing yourself differently. Because the story that you are telling yourself is simply the life that you are going to keep on living. So not your circumstances, not your traumas, your wounds, not your past, not what has happened to you. It is simply the meaning that you have attached to it. These things that you've been through don't mean anything other than what you make them mean to you. And I want to be honest and say that most women, I don't think they realize this, because a lot of women I know and that I try and speak to about this in a kind way, um, they're just living inside that old story that they've been repeating for years and years and years on autopilot and calling it self-awareness and my story and my traumas. And I'm telling you right now that you can just dump all of that. And when I say your story, I don't mean your traumas and what has happened to you, and I don't mean your childhood, and I don't mean what it is that you went through. I mean the story that you run about who you think that you are now in your life. So things like the labels. So I'm the one who has to work harder than everyone else. I'm the one who always gets left behind. I'm the one that struggles with her confidence. I'm the one that needs to heal and fix herself. I'm the one that has to be careful and responsible. It's not just memory, that is your identity at play. And your identity is not just neutral, it's shaping everything in your reality. So, what you expect, what you tolerate, what you're attempting, and what you rule out, and most importantly, what you think that you deserve and are capable of in your life. So, every time that you are telling this story over and over again, you're not just processing the past, you are rehearsing for the future. And I want to make this really practical. So, let's get into some tangible things that this could apply to in your life. So imagine your friend comes to you and says, I'm really bad with money. So when that money comes into them, they're going to spend it really fast. They're going to, I don't know, if they're running a business, they're not going to charge the prices they should be charging. They're not going to budget. They're not going to know what is going on with the money. They're just going to empty their bank account as soon as they can. And it's not because they can't learn how to be good with money, it's because they're being loyal to the old story, which is I am bad with money. And your brain is just, their brain, sorry, is simply showing them how it can stick to that identity. Or perhaps your friend comes to you and says that she always overthinks everything, so she hesitates, she procrastinates, she waits until she feels confident to do something in her life, and it's not because she lacks intelligence or the drive, but it's because she keeps confirming the role of her old identity that says, I always overthink. So lo and behold, your brain is finding all those things to make that true. And this is why two people can go through the exact same event in life and they live completely different lives afterward. It's not because the event was different for every person, it's because the story that they built around that event was completely different based on all their perceptions and their identity. And I really want to be really clear about my stand on this. So I truly think that there is a level of growth where when you go back to the old story, it's no longer considered growth because you're maintaining that old identity. I'm not saying for you to ignore the past. I think it's very important for us to acknowledge what has happened to us, but we can simply choose to move forward. We don't have to keep repeating the same story. This happened to me, this is why I am this way. No, it shouldn't be like that at all. And this is what I am saying, because at some point, the work that you're doing is no longer going to be about understanding what happened. It needs to be about you deciding who it is that you are now and who you want to become for the future. And you're simply not going to become someone new by telling the old story better. You're going to become someone new by changing the role and how you keep showing up in life and how you keep playing the game, which is life. There's such a difference between I know why I am like this and I no longer choose to live by that story or by that version of myself. And most women are very good at insight and saying why this has happened to me. I mean, why I am the way I am, blah, 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 blah. And they can explain it really beautifully. But I want to be clear and say that explaining this is not going to give you a new reality. Making a decision to act differently or be different is going to create you a different reality. Not fake positivity, not some big dramatic decision, but a quiet decision that you say to yourself that this is no longer the story that I'm repeating to myself. This is no longer the little box that I'm cramming myself into, and it is no longer who I am being. And then you're going to choose differently, you're going to respond to things differently, you're going to tolerate things differently, and you're going to stop telling the story of the same old character. And this is how your old story is going to dissolve, by outgrowing the old identity. Leave that behind where it belongs. And I want to be really clear and say this channel is not for women who want to keep examining themselves forever, who want to keep staying in that healing loop that we all get stuck in. I think the healing industry can feed us a lot of bullshit. I do truly think that healing can get you stuck in that. I speak about this countless times, but I really think it's time to call that out and just say that I think healing is bullshit. This is exactly what we are going to do inside the self-elevation experience. We're not going to make your story the center of your life. We're going to make you the center, and your leadership and you becoming the woman that you should be, not rehearsing an old story and not being loyal to your old identity and the things that you simply have outgrown. And I want you to know that if you feel like this video is speaking to you directly, it's because you are so ready, my love, for your new elevated next chapter, next level in your life. Not just a better understanding of the old one. So if you're ready to join me, the link is down below for self-elevation experience. In the meantime, you can get yourself a free daily hype track to listen to that is going to keep you in your elevated energy. And just as a closing statement, so to reiterate that, the story that you are telling yourself about who you are, what you deserve, is simply the life that you are going to keep on living. Because at some point, growth becomes very simple and you're going to stop asking, why am I like this? And you need to start asking, who am I choosing to be right now? Because that is where your new life and new reality is going to begin. See you in the next video.